The first contact between Sabina Fuchs-Schwede and Mrs. Julia Ciurko, her rescuer, began in the fall of 1942, when the Germans invaded the town of Zborov, Poland. Born into a loving, warm family, Sabina had a very happy childhood. But when the Germans marched into town, it all came to an end. While the level of anti-Semitism in Poland was gradually escalating, no one could imagine the enormity of what was about to happen. In July of 1941, while on a visit to her Aunt Ruja's house, Sabina saw German planes flying above and heard the rattling of machine guns shattering the window panes. A bomb just missed hitting Sabina as she ran into a cellar together with her Uncle Punio. German soldiers were dragging Jews down the road and shooting them. After days of witnessing the most horrific sights, the Fuchs family returned to their home and found Julia Ciurko and her children, Władysław, aged 6, and Isabella, aged 8, in their home. Julia was the wife of a Polish officer who had disappeared while serving his country, leaving Julia alone without any means of survival. Julia stayed with the Fuchs family until Zborov was turned into a ghetto, and Julia, as a Gentile, was forced to find a new home.
I see everything. I see and I kill these people. We live in close to ghetto, very close. You never forget for all life that you can just close your eyes and you see these people.
In June of 1943, the final exia in Zborov took place. All the surviving Jews of the town were led to a pit where they were shot. Luckily, the Fuchs family had by that time left their home and found refuge in the home of a Polish peasant, Bigos Anton. To muffle the sound of the machine gun fire, Bigos blocked the entrance to the shelter with a crate. Nevertheless, the uninterrupted sound was heard all day long. Unbeknownst to Sabina, her father, Yakov Fuchs, had already been brutally murdered and thrown into the very pit located near Bigos's house. With Bigos hiding 10 people, 3 French soldiers, and 7 from the Fuchs family, hiding at the home of Bigos Anton became unbearable. Julia was contacted, and she agreed to pick up Sabina and take her to her home in Monina. After a harrowing journey, they finally arrived to Julia's rented room in a spacious cottage. They managed to live off potatoes, bread, sour milk, fruits, and vegetables, while Julia barely made a living as a seamstress. Then, in late August of 1944, the thunder of artillery and barrage of Katyusha rockets were heard. Julia, Sabina, Władysław, and Isabella fled over the open field to a nearby barn. When the bombardment was over, Sabina looked out and saw a column of Russian soldiers moving in rear formation. Sabina was liberated, having survived the horrors of war, in large part due to the care and safety that Julia provided. That evening, as Sabina listened to an old peasant woman tell a story, the dog suddenly began to bark wildly. A stranger, unidentifiable in the dark, was standing by the gate. Sabina rushed to the gate to see who it was. It was Sabina's mother. She had come to take Sabina home. Many years later, Sabina wrote her story in a memoir in which she describes Julia as a woman with a noble soul, conscience, and uncommon morality, not to mention courage, resourcefulness, and a very strong will to live.
Oh, I say to her, Mama, I thank you very much that you take these people from hell.
Always respected my grandmother, but at that point it was like at a different level, because she basically sacrificed her life and her family to save other people.
Today, Yulia Ciurko's name is engraved in a memorial plaque at Yad Vashem in appreciation for her being a righteous among the nations.